Hello class, this is chapter 10 assignment question number 2. In this question, I will only talk about some of the parts in this question. So in this question, part A, we want to set up our hypothesis. And for the null hypothesis, we know after reading this question, we know it's about the proportion is 21%, and 20% we know it's talking about the proportion. So the population parameter is the P, so that's a population proportion. So in the null hypothesis, we say the population proportion is equal to a value. But the question is the value 0.2 or 0.21? So if we go back to the question, we can see 21 in the poll, 21% of the people will said the economy is good, and we have 20% from the media. So which numbers do we use? If you see this 21%, this 21% is from the sample, okay? So it's from the poll, it's from the sample, okay? And in the null hypothesis, we should never talk about sample. We should talk about the population proportion or the population mean. So we should use this 20% because this 20% is the population proportion, okay? And what about the alternative hypothesis? In this question, we want to know if this 21% from the sample will support this 20% as the population proportion or not. So we just want to know if this 20% is true or not true. We're not interested in is greater than 20% or is less than 20%. We just want to know if it is 20% or not. So in the alternative hypothesis, P is not equal to 0.2. Okay. And conditions, we can check those conditions. And the confidence interval, we can use a StatCrunch to get the confidence interval. Let's open the StatCrunch. Okay. So stat proportion, because we're talking about proportion stats one sample with summary. Okay. We need to enter the number of successes and number of observations. So let's put the number of observations there. So the sample size is 2774, but what is the number of successes? We're not given the number of successes, but we are given this percentage. 21% of this number rated the economy as excellent. So we have to do some calculation. So that's going to be 2774 times the percentage, 0.21. So that's the number of successes. So let's put 583 there. Okay, and confidence interval 90%. So 0.9. So let's click compute. Okay, we got the lower limit and upper limit. Okay, and B, does your confidence interval provide evidence to support the claim? What is the claim? The claim is the P is equal to 0.2. Okay, so how do we decide that? So let's see if this hypothesis value is in the interval or not. Okay, so 0.2 and is less than the upper limit and is greater than the lower limit. So it is in the interval. Okay, it is in the interval. So the answer is yes. So 0.2 is within the interval. There is evidence to support the claim. Okay, and part C, what is the corresponding significance level or alpha level? So if you read the textbook, we know the confidence level plus the alpha level should be 100%. Because the confidence level is 90%, that means the alpha level or the significance level is 10%. Okay? And it's always two-sided test. Okay? So that's question number 2.